What's up, everybody? Um, Real quick, like I forgot to mention in my last video, like don't forget to hit like, subscribe if you're not already, and definitely leave some comments. I love to read you guys' comments and interact. But anyway, it's gonna be a prison story. It's also about one of my crazy ass homies from back in the day. All my homies were crazy back in the day, some more than others. But this dude was like, he was one of the craziest homies I had. He ended up doing some time in prison, a couple of stints actually, um, before he passed away. But I'll talk about that too. Um, but anyway, this was like I think maybe like I'm trying to remember what year it was. We probably met. Like I mean, I was like, I think we were like 15, so shit, I can't even remember back that far. Yeah, we were probably like about 15, so I think it was maybe like 85 or something like that. But like he was a white dude. He was Irish actually, uh, Irish white boy, and he had green eyes. So all the ladies like that, or the little girls I should say at that time. But he was kind of pussy, excuse my language. Like when he first kind of came around me and my friends, like he lived in the same neighborhood as one of my other homies, and he just kind of like started coming around one day, and he was like maybe like a year younger than us. He was like 14, I think, and but he was a big kid. He was like same size as us, but just a year younger. So we kind of let him start hanging around us, but he was kind of a wimp at first, like I said. So we right away were like, dude, if you're gonna be coming around, like you're gonna have to toughen up. So like we all started like not beating him up, but like beating up on him, like making him tough, like slap boxing him, wrestling his ass, and just like made him cry a few times, but he started getting tougher. But anyway, so like the years went by, I started teaching them like some kickboxing and stuff. We started like working out, and he started getting a lot tougher, like he started to kind of catch up to us a little bit, right? But then one day he he came to where we're at, and he had a like a black eye and a like a busted lip, and he was all beat up looking, and so I was like, we're like, what the fuck happened to you, and he's like, I got jumped by CMW. There used to be this gang in our hometown called CMW. I don't think it's around anymore, and they actually stole the name from Compton's Most Wanted, um, and it was like the only gang in our hometown that was like mixed races. Like there was Chicanos, blacks, and whites in this gang, right? And it was just kind of a startup crew. Like some dudes just like decided they want to be gangsters, and they made up that name, and all of a sudden they were gangsters, I guess. But they did do some stuff though. They like were stealing cars and selling, like slanging, and doing burglaries and shit. So they were legit criminals. I don't know about gangsters, but they were putting in some work. Anyway, they ended up jumping him and taking my bike. I had loaned him my bike. I had this nice mountain bike, and so they beat him up and stole it, right? And so I was pretty pissed about that, and I told them we're gonna get those mother effers, and so I think about that time when that happened. I think we were maybe like about 18, 19, somewhere around there. So we ended up like I think it was maybe like a couple weeks later. We were actually coming home from work. We worked at this aluminum place, like this. They just like did stuff with aluminum, right? And it was like me and him and this other friend of mine. this black dude that I grew up with, and and it was funny because like they pulled up next to us, and I used to have this it was a '98 Firebird Formula. I mean not '98, '78. It was a Firebird Formula, and it was like it was nice. It was really fast. It had a big block 455 in it, and it was like all hot rodded out, but it looked original. That's the thing that was cool about it. It was a sleeper. It looked totally original, but that thing was souped up. It had power. Anyway, they were in a Mustang 5.0 GT, and it was like, you know, maybe like it was a newer one at the time. It was like, so it was like maybe like I don't know an 80 something, you know. But anyway, so like we started talking smack to each other back and forth, and then when the light changed green, because they pulled up next to us, when the light changed green, we both took off, and so we were like racing, you know, and so my car was faster. We were winning, right? But then like some cars got in, like we're up ahead, so I had to slow down. So then they passed me, and then so I started chasing them, and it was crazy because I chased them. We chased them like all the way from um, like I don't know. I'll just say we chased them for like about 3 or 4 miles down like a pretty big road, like one of the main roads, and then they turned left onto the main road that goes like right down the middle of town. Um, and so like we were still chasing them, and then like we were weaving in and out of cars, like in and out of traffic. And like, no joke, I'm not exaggerating. We were like doing about 85, 90. And I know that's stupid. Like we could have killed somebody and killed ourselves. But yeah, we were doing like 85, 90, like chasing them. And they were trying to get away from us and they couldn't get away. So they ended up like slamming on the brakes, like slowing down and then slamming on the brakes. And they turned into this parking lot of a grocery store. And so I chased them in there, and like they all jumped out of the car like they were gonna fight us, right? And then we jumped out of the car, and there was only 3 of us. There was like about, I think it was about 5 of them in the car. So we got out, and my friend EJ was in the back seat. Um, Man, I don't even remember if I said his name at the beginning of the video, but that was his name, EJ. He jumped out of the car, and then my black friend, I'm gonna just call him RC. That's his initials. He jumped out, and oh, and I forgot to mention during the car chase, he was like practically crapping his pants, man. He was hanging onto the seat like this, like yelling for me to like slow down, slow down. He was like all scared, you know, like he was like terrified. But anyways, we jumped out of the car, and I had like one of those things you put on the steering wheel. I forget what you call it. Like you used to use them to lock the steering wheel. I got out with that in my hand, and so like they jumped out and they had like a crowbar and like a baseball bat or something. But then when they saw us get out, and like they saw we were like all pretty big, you know, they like jumped back in their car and they took off. They peeled out and went the other way. So I just let them go after that because like, you know, too many people saw us, you know, so I didn't want to keep chasing them. But anyway, so like I forgot to mention that he had moved in with me and my family because he ended up getting kicked out of his house for I don't remember why, but so he ended up moving in with me and my family, and so like I started calling him brother, you know, like so he was, you know, he was like it was almost like we adopted him, you know, and then he started calling my mom, and you know, my mom would call him son, you know, and so he lived with us for like I want to say like about a year maybe, or almost a year. I think it was like a pretty long time. But then like I ended up finding out that he was slanging, and so that pissed me off, you know, because one of my other friends slang too, but it was different because he was living with me. So, you know, I was like, nah, dude, fucking, you can't be doing that. If you're gonna be living here, you can't be doing that, or you need to move the fuck out. And then you can keep doing that if you want, but you're not gonna do that if you're fucking living here with me and my family, you know. So he ended up moving out, and then so like a little bit after that, like we still kicked it and stuff, but he was off like with. Oh, and then I found out like after he moved out, those same idiots that fucking jumped him, like he started fucking hanging out with them. I don't know how that works, but so he ended up making friends with them, and then like so he started doing all kinds of stupid shit, stealing cars, breaking into houses and stuff. Um, and so he ended up getting locked up. He ended up going to prison, right? And right about that same time, I had joined the army. Um, so like, uh, I was gone for like a couple years. I only enlisted for like a couple years. And then so like when I got back, he was still in prison. Um, and like, so like, I don't think anybody had really talked to him or anything like that. And then, so then I actually started, I a little bit after I got out of the army, I started working at the prison, right? So I was working at SMU one. So this is like around maybe like 94, I think. Um, yeah, about 94. So like one day, like I was curious about like just like I don't know like what he was up to or like how he was doing in prison or whatever. Like I didn't really know any way to get in touch with him, so um, I ended up asking one of the counselors there at SMU. I said, "Hey, can you look this inmate up for me?" And she was like, "Yeah, what's his number?" And I was like, "I don't know his DOC number." I said, I have his full name. Can you look it up like that?" And she was like, "Yeah, I can try." So he had kind of a really different type of name, right? His last name was Reedhead. Like it's a like kind of not a very common name, I guess. But anyway, so like she looked him up, and then she was like, "You know this guy or something?" And I was like, "Yeah." I said, he used to be like kind of like a brother to me. Like we were homies. Like we grew up together." And she was like, "Oh my god." She's like, you associated with this guy? She's like, he's so freaking violent, you know? And I was like, really? I said, what do you mean, you know? And then so she started telling me that I'm just looking at my notes because I want to make sure I don't forget anything. Um, so like he he actually I think he had actually went in for like just like GTA or like burglary or something like that, and then like maybe like had possession of some drugs or something. But while he was in prison, um, like when he first went into prison, and I found out all this stuff later on, right? But she told me, okay, let me just list his charges first. So she said he assaulted a CO, that called him a wannabe Mexican, like beat him up like pretty good, I guess. So he got a charge for that, and then so they sent him to this program called Shock that they used to do for the inmates. It was kind of like a boot camp that they did for the inmates, and like if they completed it, it shortened their time. Like they would take time off their stay. So he like while he was in Shock, he got in a fight with another inmate and like I guess bashed him in the head with an iron, you know. So he got kicked out of Shock for that, and then so like I think they sent him to Fort Grant. I think that's the prison he got sent to. And so like when he was there, like he was like, I guess like when he first went in, like he was trying to hang out with the Chicanos, like the Mexicans, because that's what he was used to being around. That's what he grew up around, right? And I guess they told him like, you can kick it with us, but it's gonna get you in trouble with the woods, like your people, the whites, man, they're not gonna be cool with that, and they told him we can't protect you, like you're on your own. You're basically gonna be rolling solo. So like a pendejo, he was like, I don't give a fuck. He's like, you guys are more my people. So he started kicking it with the Chicanos, I guess that's why that CO called him a wannabe Mexican, right? But so that was his first assault, um, and then so like there was some skinheads that took notice that he was kicking it with the Chicanos. So of course they weren't cool with that, And they gave him a chance. They tried to talk to him, and they were like, what's up? What race are you? And he told them, well, I'm white. I'm Irish, but he goes, I don't play that racism stuff, and they told him, well, it's different in here, like you gotta kick it with your own kind, like you gotta roll with your own kind, and or there's gonna it's gonna be an issue, and so he basically told him, to get fucked, and so they were like, all right, we'll see you around, So right there, they decided they were gonna get him, like they were gonna put a beat down on him. That was gonna be like chance number two. They would probably put a beat down on him, give him a chance to change his mind, and then after that, it would probably be like they'll probably stick his ass or something, probably try to kill his ass. So they ended up waiting, I guess, till one night. I guess they jumped him in the showers. Like three skinheads jumped him, and but I guess he beat them up pretty good. Like that counselor was the one that was telling me that he like broke one's jaw. He like beat another one up pretty good. Like I guess broke one of his ribs or something, and then the other one was like I don't know, had like a serious concussion or something. So beat him up pretty good, and she tripped out when I told her, like I'm the one that taught him how to fight, because I used to teach him Muay Thai and boxing, and like we did a little bit of grappling and stuff too. But I used to kick his ass in grappling. Like I didn't teach him that much grappling because I was like, I gotta make sure the student doesn't surpass the master. I had to be able to like subdue his ass somehow, right? In case he ever got out of hand. But so I guess he messed him up pretty good. So that counselor was shocked that like, that he used to be an associate of mine or whatever, because he was so violent. But so anyway, like he after a while he ended up getting out, and somehow or another he got in touch with me. Like I heard through one of our mutual friends that he had gotten out, and so like against my better judgment, I I ended up, like agreeing to like go meet up with them somewhere, and so I met up with them, and like I tripped out at how big he had gotten. He was like swole, like I mean he looked like a bodybuilder. That's how big he was, and he told me that while he was in there, so like he ended up kind of making a treaty with the woods, like the skins, like after they jumped him. Like he told them like he wasn't gonna like roll with them, like he wasn't gonna patch up with them or nothing, but he said he would like roll, like basically like he would be down with them. Like if something kicked off, he would back them up. He would fight for them or whatever, because you have to stick with your own race. There's no choice about it. And he ended up like after a while, like he would like put in work for them. Like he still wasn't like officially affiliated with them, but he would collect on debts and like put in beat downs and stuff if he needed to. And so they ended up hooking him up with I'm sure they were paying him with food and other stuff, but they ended up paying him with juice, steroids. So he told me he did steroids while he was in there, Decaduraball, and I think he said, because you know how it is in prison, they can get anything that we can get out here. So I guess that's how he got so big, right? But anyway, like so like we started working out together again, and like of course he thought he wanted to show that he was stronger than me or whatever, but the only thing he was stronger than me on was arm curls. Like he loved to do arm curls, so he was a little bit stronger than me on arm curls, but I was stronger on everything else. I was still stronger on bench and shoulders, and then definitely legs, because he had that prison build. Like his legs weren't too skinny, but like he didn't believe in working his legs. Like a lot of dudes in prison don't believe in that. They have like chicken legs with a gigantic upper body. But anyway, so like yeah, so like we started hanging out again, but like like we would go to clubs and stuff, and like he would always get us kicked out. Like he didn't know how to act, because he had that prison mentality. So like we got kicked out of clubs like a couple different times, and then so then I found out he started slanging again, and when he started slanging again, I was just like, no man, like I'm not about that life, like I don't want to, because I was working at the prison, so I was like, I can't be kicking it with you if you're doing shit like that. So we kind of like started, going our own separate way and stuff, but it was crazy because like a lot of people used to tell us like we were like we were like blood in blood out, like because like Miklo and Paco, because like we were like brothers, one was Chicano and the other one was white, and then like he went to prison just like Miklo, and I went to the military, and then I became a CO like Paco, but he became a cop, I think, a detective or whatever. But yeah, people used to like always joke that we were like fucking Miklo and Paco. But so anyway, yeah, like he started slanging again, and so like we kind of went our separate ways a little bit, and then he started doing like all kinds of crazy stuff again, like like burglaries and shit like that. And then I heard he got hooked on I think it was slanging meth, I think. And then like I ended up seeing him one day, like after I hadn't seen him for a long time, and he looked crazy, man. He was just like he was all shriveled up. He wasn't swole no more, and and he was like just looked bad. Like I could tell he got like like just hooked, and he was like living on the streets and shit. And right away when he seen me, like he was like, oh, hey, what's up, bro? And like, trying to give me hugs and shit. So I shook his hand and gave him a hug, and then but like the first thing he asked me was like, hey, bro, he's like, can you loan me $10, man? I was like, dude, man, like, I was like disappointed to see him like that, and I didn't tell him nothing because, I mean, what good is it to tell somebody like, I told you not to fucking live that, that lifestyle anymore. But I just basically told him like, bro, you need to get help, man. I gave him the $10. I said, here you go, man. Like, you need to get help, bro. I said, get help, And then he was just like, all right, He was like, hey, can we keep in touch, And I was just like, nah, bro. Like, if you get help, you get clean, then you can reach out to me, and maybe we'll, we could, we'll see what's up, man. But that was pretty much the last time I saw him. And then I heard, like, yeah, he ended up ODing on, I think it was, on heroin. I guess he got tired of meth and figured he'd try something stronger, something different. But yeah, I heard he OD'd, and he was gone. I was pretty bummed, when I heard about it, but I wasn't surprised. Unfortunately, that's the path he chose. That's the road he went down. But anyway, I hope you guys like that story. Don't forget to hit like and comment, and I'll reach out to you guys in those comments. All right. For now, it's another one. Your homie, Big Cisco. Peace.